Hello students, good morning. Today we are going to start a new chapter of class 8th, that is reproduction in animals, and this is the first part of this chapter that we are going to start. This chapter contains certain topics, and the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter. So what are the contents of this chapter? So just look at the contents that are present in this chapter. The contents are, in this chapter we are going to study about the types of reproduction, about the sexual reproduction, male reproductive system, female reproductive system, fertilization, external and internal fertilization, about the test tube baby, reproductive system of the male frog and female frog, metamorphosis, asexual reproduction like binary fission, budding, about the viviparous and the oviparous animals, and Dolly the clone. So these are the certain topics that we are going to cover in this chapter one by one. So the first topic of this chapter is reproduction in animals. So first of all, we know that what is reproduction and why the reproduction is important. So let's know that what is reproduction and why it is important. So firstly, we know that what is reproduction. Reproduction means the production of new organism from the existing organism of the same species. There is a production of new organism from the existing organism of the same species, and this is commonly known as reproduction. Or in simple words, we can say that reproduction is the creation of new living things from the existing living things. So actually, one of the most important characteristics of all the living things is their ability to reproduce more numbers of their species. Reproduction is essential for the survival of the species on this earth. So living organisms produce more organisms of their own kind in order to maintain the life of their species on the earth. So why the reproduction is important? It is important for the survival of the species on the earth. So the living organism produce more organisms of their own kind in order to maintain the life of their species on the earth. The process of reproduction ensures the continuity of life on the earth. It is important because it ensures the continuity of the life on the earth. For example, I am going to give you an example. For example, human beings reproduce by giving birth to babies like sons and daughters. Their babies grows and ultimately become adults. So when the old parents die, their sons and daughters keep living on this earth. These sons and daughters also reproduce by giving birth to more babies, and this process goes on and on. Thus, reproduction by the human beings ensures the human species will continue to exist on this earth for all the time to come. Similarly, we can take the another example also. For example, cats reproduce by giving birth to kittens so that their species may live forever, and the dogs produce by giving birth to puppies so their species may continue to live on this earth. So it is clear that from the above discussion that we have done, from this discussion it is clear that for the species of the animals to continue on this earth, it must reproduce itself. Reproduction gives rise to more organisms of the same basic characteristics as their parents. For example, human beings always produce human babies, cats always produce kittens, hens always produce chicks. If, however, some species of the organism cannot reproduce due to the certain reason, then the organism of these species will gradually die and dry out and disappear from the earth one day. In this chapter, we will discuss the various methods of reproduction. So in this chapter, we are going to know about what are the different methods of the reproduction. So this is about the reproduction that I have told you. I have told you that what is reproduction. Reproduction means The production of new organism from the existing organism of the same species is known as reproduction, or in other words we can define it, reproduction is the creation of new living things from the existing living things. I have told you that why the reproduction is important. Reproduction is important because it is important for the survival of the species on the earth, and the process of reproduction ensures the continuity of the life on the earth. So that's why reproduction is important. Now we are going to discuss about the methods of reproduction. So here there is a slide for the methods of reproduction. Look at here, there are two methods of reproduction: asexual method of reproduction and sexual method of reproduction. Now we are going to know about that, what are the asexual method and what are the sexual method of reproduction. There are many ways in which the organisms are produced from their parents. Some organisms like amoeba, I am going to give you the example of amoeba. Amoeba just split into two parts to produce new amoebae. Some organisms like hydra grow out of the parent's body in the form of bird. Some organisms like birds, snakes hatch out of the eggs laid by the parents. Whereas some organisms like human beings, kitten, puppies are born from their mother. This means that the species of the organism reproduce in different way. All the different ways of reproduction can be divided into two main groups. The first one is asexual method of reproduction and second one is sexual method of reproduction. Now we are going to know about these two methods. Now here the first one is the asexual method of reproduction. This is a method of reproduction in which the new organism from a single parent without any involvement of the sex cells, or we can say gametes, is known as asexual reproduction. It is called asexual reproduction because it does not use any spatial cells called sex cells or gametes for producing new organism. There is no involvement of the spatial cells, or we can say the gametes, in order to produce a new organism. So that's why it is known as asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, a part of the parent organism separates off and grows into a new organism. Means a single parent is required here. There is no any involvement of two parents, male parent or female parent, in case of asexual reproduction. Here from the single parent organism that separates off and grows into a new organism. The part from a parent organism separates off and grows into a new organism. Thus, in asexual reproduction, only one parent is needed to produce new organism. But no sex cells are involved in asexual reproduction. Some of the examples that we are going to give you, in which the first example is binary fission in amoeba, budding in hydra. These are the two examples of the asexual method of reproduction. The asexual method of reproduction occurs in amoeba by binary fission and budding in case of hydra. So the asexual reproduction is the simplest method of reproduction, and it takes place mainly in those animals whose bodies have a simple structure. In asexual reproduction, the young one, or we can say the offspring, produce an exact copy of the parent, and here in this case the young one that is produced from the parent is the exact copy of the parent. So this is about the asexual reproduction. Now the second one is sexual reproduction. Here the production of new organism from the two parents by making the use of their sex cells or gametes is known as sexual reproduction. So here there is an involvement of two parents, male parent and female parent, by making the use of their gametes, and this process is known as sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, the sex cells of the parent fuses with the sex cells of the other parent to form a new cell that is known as zygote. So there is a fusion of these two gametes, male gamete and female gamete, and after the fusion there is a formation of new cell, and that new cell is known as zygote. Zygote is a fertilized egg. The zygote then grows and develops to form a new organism, and there is a further division that takes place in the zygote and it develops into a new organism. So in sexual reproduction, two parents are needed to produce a new organism. the two parents which are involved in sexual reproduction are male and female. Here the two parents are involved, male parents and the female parents. But we have studied in case of asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. So here the two parents are involved, the male parent and the female parent. They have the special organs in them in order to produce the male sex cells and the female sex cells respectively, which are required for the sexual reproduction. So in case of sexual reproduction, there is a requirement of gametes, there is requirement of sex cells, male gamete and female gamete. But in case of asexual reproduction, I have studied that there is no any involvement of the gametes. Human, fish, frog, cats, dogs all reproduce by the method of sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, the young one produced is not the exact copy of the parents. We have studied in case of asexual reproduction, the new one that is produced is the exact copy of the parents. But here it is opposite. Here in this case, in case of sexual reproduction, the young one that is produced from the parents is not the exact copy of the parents. So the basic difference between the asexual and the sexual reproduction is that in only one parent is needed in case of asexual reproduction, whereas two parents are needed in case of sexual reproduction. And another difference is that no sex cells or gametes are involved in case of asexual reproduction, but the sex cells, or we can say the gametes, that take part in case of sexual reproduction. So in order to understand the sexual reproduction in animals, we should know the meanings of the some important terms like male sex, female sex, gametes, sperms, or we can say ova, fertilization, zygote, which are involved in the sexual reproduction. So we are going to know about some other things about these types of reproduction. Now we are going to know about the male and female sex cells, or we can say the gamete. Our father is a male and mother is a female. So we can say that father has a male sex and our mother has a female sex. Now our father is a man and our mother is a woman. This means that man is male whereas woman is female. Thus man is said to have male sex and woman is said to have the female sex. Just as human beings, other animals also have male and female sex. So we will learn after a while being male and female depends on the type of the sex cells present in their bodies. The animal having the male sex cells called sperms in its body, the male sex cells is, or we can say the male gamete is known as sperm. So the male having the male sex cells, that is called sperms in its body, and on the other hand the animal having the female sex cells called eggs or ova in its body is called female. So this is about the two types of gametes that I have told you. Male gamete is known as sperm and the female gamete is known as eggs or ova. So we are going to know more about the gametes. So sexual reproduction takes place by the combination of the special reproductive cells, and these reproductive cells is known as sex cells. These sex cells are also known by the another name. The another name that is given to it is gametes. So we can say that the cells involved in sexual reproduction are called gametes. Gametes are of two types, male gamete and female gametes. The male gamete in animals is called sperm and the female gamete in animals is called egg or ovum. We will now describe the sperms and eggs like this. Sperms. Now we are going to know more about the sperm. We are going to know about its structure and about its size. The sperms are extremely small cells and we need a microscope to see them. A sperm is about 0.05 millimeter long. Highly enlarged sketch of the sperm, that when you look at diagram, you will observe that sperm has a head and a middle piece and a tail. Sperm is a single cell with all the usual cell components like nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane. The nucleus of the sperm is tightly packed in its head. So where the nucleus is found, the nucleus is tightly packed. It is consist of its three parts. The upper one is known as head, the middle piece and the tail. So its head is consist of nucleus. So the nucleus of the sperm is tightly packed in its head. The sperm cell has very little cytoplasm. The purpose of the tail, what is the purpose of the tail? The purpose of the tail in case of a sperm is that it make it to move. The sperms move by waving its tails from side to side, and the term sperm is the short form of the word spermatozoon, which means male sex cells or male gamete. So this is about the male gamete. I have told you about the sperm. Now the second one is the female gamete, or we can say eggs or ova. The eggs or ova are very small and we need a microscope to see them. The eggs or ova, however, much larger than the sperm. So when we compare its size with the sperm, it is much larger than the sperm. Human egg or ovum is round in shape. It is about 0.15 millimeter in diameter. I have told you about the sperm. Sperm is about 0.05 millimeter long, and here the ovum is about 0.15 millimeter in diameter. It is much larger as compared to the sperm cell. Now the egg or the ovum is also a single cell. It is also a single cell having the nucleus. I have told you the sperm is also a single cell, so it is also a single cell, and it has also the nucleus. Sperm has also the nucleus, it has also the cytoplasm, it has also the cell membrane. Like that in case of sperm also, sperm has also the nucleus, sperm has also the cytoplasm, and sperm has also the cell membrane. Like that here also it has a nucleus, cytoplasm and cell membrane. Outside the cell membrane, an egg or ovum has a thin layer of jelly, and that jelly coat which allows only one sperm to enter into it during the fertilization. So here female gamete, or we can say the female sex cell, is known by the two names eggs and ovum. Female gamete is known by the two names. We can say either egg or we can say ovum. So whether we use the name egg or ovum, it will mean same thing. And another point is to be noted is that the plural form of the ovum is ova. So what is the plural form of ovum? The plural form of ovum is ova. Some of the animals like birds, like that hen, ostrich, and reptiles like snake and crocodile have the large eggs. So the nuclei of the sperm and the egg containing chromosomes. The nuclei that is found in the head of the sperm and the nuclei that is present in the cytoplasm of the egg contain the chromosome which carry the genes and transmit the characteristic from the parent to the offspring. I have already told you in your previous chapter that the genes are the unit of inheritance. So it plays important role in transferring the characteristic from the parent to the offspring. So the nuclei of the sperm and the egg contains the chromosomes which carry the genes and that transmit the characteristic of the parents to the offspring. The fusion of male gamete or sperm or the female gamete egg that give rise to a new cell, and that new cell is known as zygote. So after the fusion of male gamete and female gamete, there is a formation of new cell, and that new cell is known as zygote. The new cell which is formed by the fusion of male and female gamete is commonly known as zygote. Zygote is what? It is a type of single cell which contains one nucleus. The nucleus of the zygote formed by the combination of the nuclei of the sperm and egg. So here the nucleus that is found in zygote is mainly formed by the combination of the nuclei of the sperm and the egg, and the process of the fusion of the gamete is known as male and female gamete is known as fertilization, that we are going to discuss in this chapter later on. So fertilization. So this is the slide about the fertilization. Now we are going to know about that what is fertilization. For the sexual reproduction to occur, male gamete must combine, or we can say fuse, with the female gamete. So the fusion of male and female gamete is required for the sexual reproduction. The fusion of male gamete with a female gamete to form zygote during the sexual reproduction is called fertilization. So there is a fusion of male and female gamete to form a zygote during the sexual reproduction is commonly known as fertilization. Since the male gamete of an animal is called sperm, I have already told you, and the female gamete is known as egg or ovum. So we can also say that the fusion of the sperm with the egg or ovum to form zygote during sexual reproduction is known as fertilization. So we can define it like this way also. There's a process of fertilization produces a new cell. After the fertilization, there is a production of new cell, and that new cell is known as zygote. Zygote is actually a fertilized egg, or we can say fertilized ovum. So what is zygote? How you can define that? What is zygote? Zygote is actually a fertilized egg, or we can say it is a fertilized ovum. In human beings, the process of fertilization is the meeting of sperm from the father with the egg from the mother to form a fertilized egg is called zygote. The process of fertilization in humans here. Now we are going to know about that how this fertilization process takes place. Now I have already told you about the structure of the sperm and the structure of the ovum. So when the head of the sperm enters the egg, the nucleus of the sperm fuses, or we can say joins, with the nucleus of the egg. We are knowing well the head of the sperm contains nucleus, and the egg or the ovum also contains a nucleus in its cytoplasm. So when the head of the sperm enters the egg, the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg to form a new nucleus. The fusion of the nucleus of the sperm and the nucleus of the egg to form a new cell is called the fertilized egg, or we can say zygote. The tail of successful sperm entering the egg remains outside. All the multicellular organisms, including human beings, start their life from a single cell, and that single cell is known as zygote through the sexual reproduction. So this is about the fertilization that I have told you. Now we are going to know about the types of fertilization. There are mainly two types of fertilization: internal fertilization and external fertilization. So we are going to know about that what is internal fertilization and what is external fertilization. So internal fertilization means the fertilization that takes place inside the body of the human beings or the animals is known as internal fertilization. As we have already studied about the fertilization process, I have told you about that what is fertilization. So here the fertilization of an egg by a sperm can take place either inside the body of the female animal or outside the body of the female animal. This leads to two modes of fertilization: internal fertilization and external fertilization. So when the fertilization of the egg by a sperm takes place inside the body of the female, it is known as internal fertilization, and when the fertilization of the egg by a sperm takes place outside the body of the female, it is known as external fertilization. So the fertilization that takes place inside the body of the female is known as internal fertilization. In internal fertilization, female eggs are fertilized by the sperm inside their body. Internal fertilization, the male animal puts his sperm into the female's animal body, and these sperm then fertilize the eggs inside her body. For example, a man puts his sperm inside woman's body, and these sperms then fertilize the egg inside the woman's body, This type of fertilization, in which the fusion of male gamete or a sperm with the female gamete or the egg that occur inside the body of the female, is commonly known as internal fertilization. Internal fertilization takes place in a very large number of animals such as humans, cow, dogs, cats, tigers, lions, rabbit, deer, horse, birds such as hen, sparrow, crow, pigeon, reptiles such as lizard, snake, crocodile, and insects like silk moth, housefly, butterfly. In all these animals, the fertilization occurs inside the body of the female. So this is about the internal fertilization I have told you. Now we are going to know about the external fertilization. The fertilization that takes place outside the body of the female is known as external fertilization. So here, in case of external fertilization, the female eggs are fertilized by the sperm outside her body. In frog and most of the fishes, the fertilization of the eggs outside the female body of the female animal's body, and in case of external fertilization, the male and female animals release their sperms and eggs in the water, where the fertilization takes place by the collisions between the sperms and the eggs. For example, male and female of frogs and fishes releases the sperms and eggs in water in which they live. The sperms then collide with the eggs and fertilized outside the body of the female frog or fish. External fertilization is very common in aquatic animals such as frog, fish, starfish, etc. In these animals, the fertilization takes place in water. Now we are going to know more about the external fertilization. What happens during the spring season, or we can say the rainy season? The frogs move to the water in ponds and slow moving streams. When the male frog and the female frog come together, the female frog lays hundreds of eggs in water. Unlike the hen's eggs, frog eggs are not covered by the hard cells. The frog eggs are very delicate, and the layer of jelly holds the frog eggs together and provides the protection to the eggs. So when the female lays hundreds of eggs, at the same time the male frog releases millions of sperms from its body. The sperm swim randomly in water with the help of their long tails. I have told you that why the tail is found in sperm, because it helps in its movement. The sperm of the frog come in contact with the eggs floating in water. The fertilization takes place, and this is the type of fertilization in which the fusion of male gamete sperm or the female gamete takes place outside the body of the female, and it is commonly known as external fertilization. Just like frogs, the external fertilization also takes place in case of fish. So when the male fish and the female fish come together in water, the female fish lay hundreds of eggs in water, and at the same time the male fish releases millions of sperm in water, and when the sperms come in contact with the egg gets fertilized, and in this way the female's fish eggs are fertilized by the sperm outside its body, and it is also the another example of the external fertilization. So I have told you about the internal fertilization and the external fertilization. Now, sexual reproduction in animals. Now we are going to talk about the sexual reproduction in animals. Sexual reproduction, I have told you, for the sexual reproduction in animals there is requirement of both parents, male parents and female parents, and there is requirement of male and female gametes. So sexual reproduction is the most common method of reproduction in animals. In sexual reproduction in animals, there are two parents, male parents and female parents. The two parents have the sex organs which produce the sex cells or gametes. The male parent has the sex organs called testes which produce the male sex cells or male gametes, or we can say sperms, and the female has the female sex organs called ovaries which produce the female sex cells or female gametes, or we can say egg or ova. The whole process of sexual reproduction in animals involve the formation of sperms and eggs and joining together of sperm and egg to form a fertilized egg, that is called zygote. The growth and development of zygote to form baby animal. The sexual reproduction in animals takes place in following steps. So the first step is the male parent produces the male gamete called sperms. The female parent produces the female gamete called egg or ova. The sperm enters into the egg. The nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of the egg to form a new cell called zygote, or we can say fertilized egg. The zygote divides rapidly to form a hollow ball of hundreds of cells, which is called embryo. Embryo grows and becomes fetus, in which all the main body features of the body of the animal have formed. Fetus grows and develops to form a new baby animal. So by this way the sexual reproduction in animals takes place. So I have told you about the sexual reproduction in animals. Now types of fertilization that I have already told you. So there is a difference between the external fertilization and the internal fertilization that is given to you here on this slide. So here I have told you about that how the internal fertilization takes place and how the external fertilization takes place. So here in case of internal fertilization, the sperm deposited near the female reproductive tract and fertilization occurs within tract. In case of external fertilization, the female releases the eggs into the environment and the male fertilizes them externally. Few zygote fertilized eggs are produced. Here many zygotes produced. More protection for developing embryo, more likely to damage will happen to them. So the more you have, the more offspring will actually survive. So this is about the difference between internal and external fertilization. So the female reproductive organ, we are going to talk about the female reproductive system, or we can say the female reproductive organ. So the human male reproductive system consists of following organs. Here we are going to talk about the female reproductive system. So the human female reproductive system consists of following organs. The organs, that is, here there is a diagram that is given to you. So look at the diagram here also. The female reproductive organs are ovaries, oviduct, uterus and vagina. The human female reproductive system that reproductive system diagram is given to you here. Since the human female is called woman, so we can say that it is the reproductive system of the woman. Ovaries are oval-shaped organs. Now we are going to define that what is ovary. Ovary are the oval-shaped organs. Look at the diagram here, which are inside the abdominal cavity of a woman. Where it is found? It is found inside the abdominal cavity of woman. A woman has two ovaries. There are two ovaries. Ovaries are the real reproductive organ in women. In case of women, ovaries are the real reproductive organ. Female sex cells or ova, or we can say ovum, or we can say eggs, are made in ovaries, where the formation of the female sex cells or the female gametes occurs. It occurs in ovaries. So the ovaries makes the female gametes, or we can say eggs or ova. Just above the ovaries are the tubes. Just look at the diagram here. Just above the ovary there is a tube-like structure, and that tube-like structure is known as oviduct, which is also known as fallopian tube. Oviduct is also known as fallopian tube. The oviduct are not directly connected to the ovaries. Here just look at the diagram. This oviduct is not directly connected to the ovaries, but have the funnel-shaped opening which almost cover the ovaries. The egg or ovum is released by the ovaries, goes into the oviduct. Firstly, the egg formation takes place in ovaries, I have told you, and that egg is released by the ovary. Firstly, it goes into the oviduct. through this funnel shaped opening. In human beings, one mature egg is released into the oviduct. One mature egg is released every month into the oviduct or the fallopian tube by one of the ovaries. So this is important to know that one mature egg is released into the oviduct every month by one of the ovaries. Thus the release of egg or ovum from the ovary is called ovulation. So what is ovulation? This release of the egg from the ovary is commonly known as ovulation. The fertilization of the egg or the sperm takes place in the oviduct. The one question is asked that where the fertilization takes place inside the body of the female. The fertilization takes place in oviduct or fallopian tube. So in oviduct, the male and female gametes gets fused to form zygote. The two oviducts connected to a bag-like organ. There is a bag-like organ here, and these two oviducts are connected to a bag-like organ, and that bag-like organ is commonly known as uterus or womb. At the other end, the growth and the development of a fertilized egg or zygote into a baby takes place in the uterus. So where the growth and development of the fertilized egg or zygote takes place? It takes place in the uterus. Uterus is the part where the development of baby takes place. Uterus is that part where the development of body takes place. Uterus is connected through a narrow opening is called cervix to the another tube called vagina, which opens to outside of the body. Vagina receives the penis for putting the sperm into the woman's body. So this is about the female reproductive organ. Now, so these are the certain topics that I have covered today. There are some more topics that is still remaining in this chapter that I am going to explain you in a next lecture. So whatever the things that I have told you today, whatever the things that is given in your book, that the topics that I have covered today, must revise all the topics and try to solve the exercises by yourself, and must complete your work on time and try to learn the questions also. So students, do your studies well. Thank you.